This morning, me and Mike, we were reading Matthew, and we came across chapter 9, and I saw a verse that really resonated with me. It speaks about God's willingness to save the lost. This is Matthew 9, 12 through 13. But when he heard it, he said, "Those who are well have no need of a physician, but those who are sick. Go and learn what this means. I desire mercy and not sacrifice, for I came not to call the righteous, but sinners." So what this really speaks to me because for a long time, so let me go back. So in middle school, my parents divorced when I was in 8th grade, and I had a really privileged life. So that was one of the hardest things that I had to go through at the time. And from then until I'd say senior year, I was really disconnected with a lot of people. I seemed social, but I was really broken. That's where my mental health really took a hit, and I really felt lost inside. And ever since I'd say 6th grade, I haven't really known Christ for who he is. I'd said I did, but I never really have. And so I was really lost throughout high school. I got into the bad crowds. Even being privileged and fortunate to have the life I had, I didn't appreciate it. I was really lost, and I was arrogant. People would tell me about God, and I'd be in dark positions, and people would tell me that there's another life to live, and I just wouldn't listen. I had moments where I didn't know who I was, and I didn't like who I was. I didn't know how to change it. And then I got to college. I got to the University of Arkansas, and I met my roommate, Dylan Fletcher. And in the first week of college, I didn't know what I was going to do. I just knew that, I'm going to try to be social and find my crowd and, try to be authentic, I can't say that. I really was opportunistic, and I tried to fit into crowds, and I really didn't know myself. And so I was the frat boy type. I really liked to feel validated from other people, so I did all the cool stuff a college kid would think is cool, drinking and all that stuff. I didn't find anything through that, but in the first week, my roommate was in crew, and ever since that, from first week until the last week of first semester, he had always seen me at my worst and always pushed me to go to crew events. And I was still arrogant. I didn't think I needed it. I just thought I could fit in through the hype stuff, like frat parties and girls and this and that. And I was just really arrogant until one night I was at one of the worst lows I'd been in a long time. I was really stressed out and really lost. And I didn't really see a way out of it other than to go towards drugs. And instead of doing that, I actually felt called not to. And I didn't really understand why, because I thought the quick and easy takeaway from the pain would help, but something inside me said it wouldn't. And so I laid in my bed and I cried. And for the first time in a long time, I prayed. And also for the first time in a long time, I believed in what I prayed. And I prayed for something on the other end to, grab me from the darkness and pull me out of the trash can that I felt I put myself into. And it was, to me, that was God's hand reaching in and grabbing a piece of garbage that was lost, dark, used, and thrown away, and polished it off and gave new meaning to it. I like to think of the phrase, one man's trash is another man's treasure. I was Satan's trash and God's treasure. And he found me, and he really appreciated me. So from that night, it was probably in November, that's when I really realized that I was deserving of his love. I didn't ever think I could be until that night. And weeks later, I went to my first crew event. Dylan had been pushing all first semester to get me to go. I finally went, and from there I took off. The next crew event I was at, I got my first Bible. And actually went home and cried about it. It meant a lot to me. And then fast forward, I was going to church twice a week. I was in Bible studies every week, and this was 5 months ago. And then winter conference came along in February, and I just felt called to go to the Ozark Lake specifically. And I can get more into that later, but that's why I'm here now. And now I have one last thing. Now my life is his. God is my savior. And like I said, I was pulled out of that trash can and polished off. And I can really see myself having a purpose in life now. I'm not lost anymore. I can be authentic. I don't have to fit a script, and not just others love me, but so does God. And I want to leave this on one verse that really has stuck with me to fight the good race, and that's Galatians 6:9. And let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up. And yeah, that's my story, and that's why I'm here. And 5 months later, I'm really glad to be here, and I've met all of y'all. And if you have any questions on my story, I'd love to share more. There's way more to it, but yeah, that's my testimony.